All right. Let's see what we got. Okay. Okay. We are officially recording. Cool. So welcome to the first, welcome everybody. Let's see what we got here. Can I not see the attendees view? Oh, here we go. Cool. Welcome. Rob, Marlon, James. Cool. We get some more people as we keep going on this. So this is our first live podcast for the Online Empire Academy. How cool is that? So why do we want to do these live podcasts? Well, first off, we want to be able to give back as much as possible to you guys. You guys are awesome. And one of the ways we can do that is by not just doing these podcasts, which we love doing these podcasts. If you're not subscribed, you can subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. But we want to be able to also do some Q&A, because every now and then after a podcast we'll get questions and things like that. And so it's such an easy way, since we're doing these podcasts anyway, might as well record at the same time. So guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know in the chat. And then also there is a replay. The cool thing about this, guys, is that since you are here, and anyone else who joins us, since you are here, you get to ask the questions. You get to have the replay of the Q&A too as well. People who listen just on iTunes and Stitcher don't get that. So it'll be really cool to see how these go and grow over time. Everybody meet Josh Woodward. If you weren't a part of his last webinar, he is awesome. Josh, what are you talking about today, man? Before we actually start recording, what's going on?
Hey guys, yeah, today I'm kind of sharing some experience. I recently started using Pinterest for my one of our eBay accounts, and have seen some incredible, just in a week, have seen incredible gains. So I want to share kind of the story of how that happened, but also share with you guys how to do what I just did.
Cool. That's gonna be awesome. It's actually really interesting too, and I'll save it for the podcast. But really cool stuff. If you ever have any topics that you want to talk about, hey James, what's up, man? Um, if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, please let us know. We're also going to give a bunch of new kind of guests and stuff like that. Josh is really the man. He's going to be the one kind of guiding this thing over time and building the community around all of this. So he's going to be reaching out to a lot of people. So Q&A at the end. The podcast is about 30 minutes. Q&A at the end, and then the podcast after that is we'll do some Q&A. You'll get a replay probably within the next 2 to 3 hours. You'll get a replay in your email, so that's another benefit of this. And just to keep in mind, we have it set up to where you'll get reminded for 3 of the next podcasts that we do, and then you won't get reminded again. So just keep that in mind. If you get an invite for the next podcast or whatever, you can come. That'd be great, or you can just ignore it, and it'll end after 3 times. Okay. All right. So you're not going to hear any of the intro music, but we're going to start the podcast now. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1, and we're going to get this party started. All right. All right, guys. Excited. Thanks for being here. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Online Empire Academy podcast. My name is Dean Soto. Brett is not here today, but we have someone even cooler, in my humble opinion. No, Brett's pretty cool, right? We have Josh Woodward. Josh, say hi, my man.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Cool. So we are doing a live podcast right now. And the cool thing about that is we have a couple of people in the room right now. Let me see. Rob, James, Marlon, Felicia. Oh, Felicia, you're awesome. Christy's awesome. All you guys are awesome. We have a couple of people in the room right now. We're going to be growing over time. This is the first time we're doing a live podcast. And the cool thing about this is after this podcast, these awesome folks, get to ask questions from Josh, or they get to ask questions from our guests whenever we have another guest. So maybe we have someone who is a very, very big authority. They get to ask questions of that person after the podcast. So if you want to be a part of these live podcasts, all you have to do is go to theonlineempireacademy.com/live podcast. That's /live podcast. And you can register for one of these podcasts and be a part of this. And the cool thing too is you get the replay of the Q&A session. So if you're listening just on iTunes or on Stitcher or whatever, sorry, you're not going to get it. But we do welcome you to these live podcasts. So, all right, man. So what's been going on with you?
Well, we had a crazy opportunity where we opened up our eBay page to Pinterest and just kind of filed some things onto Pinterest and ended up doing really well. But kind of to share the backstory to that, a lot of that passion to increase sales on eBay happened due to reading The Silent Sales Machine by Jim Cochran. And it was crazy to me because I guess I'd kind of gotten stuck in eBay and gotten stuck in there's one way to do things, and there's only, I don't like change very much. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Change isn't my favorite. So when I started to read the book and he's introducing all these new ideas, it was a little bit hard at first, and then I started to catch the fire in his vision of what he was saying, and I was super humbled. Because I realized, like most of you guys know, Amazon is an incredible marketplace. I personally haven't really enjoyed my experience of Amazon, and so I've just kind of shut it out. And then after reading the book, I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much more out there. Like not just with Amazon, not just with eBay, but there's just so much as a whole out there. And I started to get super motivated, motivated to increase sales, motivated to increase what I was doing, and I was super influenced by this book, like super influenced to take what I had and take what I had developed and expand it. It really it was big. That was a big moment.
That's crazy. No, it's cool because a lot of people who, especially who are in the live podcast right now, know who Jim Cochran is, know the Silent Sales Machine. But I would imagine that some people who stumble upon our podcast wouldn't know about the Silent Sales Machine, wouldn't know about that at all. But what I kind of wanted to talk about is not necessarily the Silent Sales Machine, but I actually popped up a thing right now. If you have never checked it out, there's a link that you can go to, and or you can go to theonlineempireacademy.com and /silent sales machine. That's /silent sales machine, and you can get that. You are, even though you've been doing eBay for a long time, had you ever heard of Jim Cochran before? Like, have you ever like really? Because you were stuck in a box, right? Pretty much, just in general. And this isn't a thing to promote Jim Cochran. All that, like, it's more of you. Like, you were in this little eBay niche. What like struck you the most?
Totally. Well, first, I had never heard of him before. Like, I think I'd probably heard of him in passing, just talking with Brett and the team. But I wasn't exposed to his information. And so when I found it, I was looking up things to better improve the eBay business and better improve what I was doing already. And so when I stumbled upon it, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is such good stuff. And it was super cheap. Like it was really cheap just to buy the book. So I was like, heck yeah. I ended up finishing it. Like I'm not a super huge reader. I ended up finishing it in 2 days, like literally just blowing through the whole thing. And yeah, that's not normal for me. I'm not a big reader. So it
Yeah.
definitely changed my perspective. I don't know how else to say it. Like it changed something in the way that I view online marketing.
Yeah, well, it's even Rob in the studio says great book, and it is. It honestly is. The cool thing about it is this is what I love, because when anyone says with the Online Empire Academy, oh, you guys sell on Amazon, right? You teach on how to sell on Amazon. I'm like, no, not really. Like there's so much more involved with with selling something than just being in this little niche. And that's why I like that book a lot, is because it's people don't think of building their email list. They don't think of different marketing things. They don't think of having these little assets that are working for you alongside of Amazon. Yeah, great. Amazon is great, and it is one of the best ways to make money. Same thing with eBay, but there should be this holistic this whole holistic approach to business just in general, where I think a lot of, because Amazon and eBay, but especially Amazon, because Amazon FBA has been so easy, there are a lot of people who jump into it, do well, but have no business being in business because they haven't learned a lot of the little things that are a part of actually having a business. So that being said, let's talk about a little bit of what you've been doing and learning, because especially when you're getting into kind of the Pinterest stuff, that totally James said it definitely inspired me totally. um, you kind of knocked me off my feet when we were talking on the phone the other day, when you were talking about Pinterest and how you've been able to use that to grow your eBay empire.
Yeah, yeah. It was really in chapter 3. He starts talking, like you were talking about, email marketing and how important it is to have that email. I got really frustrated with that chapter because I was like, I with eBay, you can't send an email. Like, you have their own email stuff, but there's no way to email outside of that unless, you get sneaky and like code your message or whatever. But um, from what I've found, I haven't been able to do that. And so I was like, man, there's got to be a way to use social media or use some sort of tactic to get emails or to get a following. Um, and I had done that with several products, being in a niche, done it a little bit, but I wanted to expand. And so basically, I just took a pre-existing niche. Me and my dad started an eBay store a few years ago. I think it was like a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years at this point. Um, Selling bikes on eBay. And it's such a small portion of what eBay does because they're big items and a pain to ship, and you have to have
uh,
the knowledge to fix them. So, but my dad was a Schwinn bike mechanic for like, well, he was like, it was like 12 to, his mid 20s.
mhm.
And so he has this extensive knowledge of vintage Schwinn bikes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a gap in this market. Let's fill it. And so we started selling. Just out of passion. My dad loves restoring them. That's what he does for fun. And I was like, hey, let's try to make a little money off of it.
Yeah.
And so when I started to think of like how to optimize my business and how to optimize my eBay account, I was like, well, this is a super niche account. Let's see if we can do anything with it.
Mhm.
And that's where I kind of stumbled into my fiance was like, hey, what if you posted them on Pinterest? And I was like, okay, like I know nothing of Pinterest. Like I I'm not a fan of Pinterest. Like it's,
all I think, yeah, and all I think of Pinterest, Pinterest to me is just like women's dresses, like people showing off like flowery things and quotes and things like that. So when you said Pinterest, I'm like, okay, tell me more, I guess.
totally. Yeah, so I was like, okay, like if you can help me with this, let's do it. And so last Thursday, this was last Thursday, we sat down and just posted the pictures up. I texted my dad. I was like, hey, get us some good pictures of the bikes. I'm going to post up your listings, but I want some more pictures of the bikes. And he was like, cool. So we posted them up. Didn't really expect much. Like it was like, if it happens, anything happens, it happens. I get a call from him the next day, and he's like, holy crap, like, have you seen our account? And, I was like, no, I haven't checked it. I was checking our other account. And he gets back, he's like, we've increased 100 views on each of these items. That was within the first day. Like crazy, crazy numbers. Um, and so I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to figure out how to like optimize this. So started watching YouTube videos, started digging as much as I could because I was like, I want to get our product out there.
Mhm.
Just to kind of give you guys in 1 week, what our numbers have gone from was one of our bikes had 136 views and is now up to 470 views.
Wow.
Watching, it went from 2 watching to 9 watching. Like, just it's been a week and we're already getting so much traffic. Not only that, we've gotten 6 messages, several offers, and
Mm.
1 sale. Um, this was in a week, and I kind of get to give you guys some context. We were selling about 2 bikes a month.
Mm.
This past month we've done a little bit better, but to get a sale in a week, that's pretty good. And it was, I mean, these bikes are not cheap, so it's been really exciting to see the interest in them and that we're actually making some headway.
Well,
Our
when
overall views. Go ahead.
no, like when you think about it, you went from 2 watching to 9 watching so quickly. That's a 400% increase there. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I never like I just posted them on Pinterest. I didn't do any of the marketing side of Pinterest. I didn't do any of that. Not until a few days later did we actually get this thing up and running. And I mean, we'd increased 100 views overnight. So, like, if you're just looking, like, if you don't want to do a ton of steps, if you're just looking to optimize your account, post your stuff on Pinterest. Like, there's literally a little P on every single one of your listings that you can post it on Pinterest, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Um,
Mhm.
which is what I ended up doing. I ended up creating my own Facebook, my own email, all of this stuff just centered around Woody's Restoration, which is our account.
Well,
Um,
the cool thing, well, actually, Rob says that there are lots of cats on Pinterest, so maybe if you put some cat pictures with your.
that's good. I'll just put a cat on top of the seat. That's genius.
But no, it's so I so you were running a niche though. So say if you have like a bunch of just kind of all over the place of stuff, um, it might not work as well because but for you like it's vintage bicycles, right?
Totally.
But which kind of leads to the question like is it does it seem like it's been good to niche down to that little thing and then you leverage Pinterest?
I would say, in my experience, I mean, again, it's been a week. Like, we're seeing so much success within a week. Um,
And
I,
this is your listing. Like you're putting a picture to and posting and linking to your listing.
yeah, it's literally like I didn't do anything to the pictures. It's the picture that we have listed.
Wow.
Now we've gone back and posted a ton more pictures of like all our bikes and how my dad fixes them, which is we're trying to create a community,
Yeah.
and using Pinterest to create a community. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But this I literally just I posted our listings and we got that much feedback, 100 overnight. Um, just in feedback. So I didn't, it wasn't with a professional camera. The big lie of Pinterest is you have to have a professional camera and it has to look pretty.
Mhm.
That's such a lie. It like our pictures they're good. They're not spectacular. They're good though. And we posted them up and people are interested. I mean, they're literally pictures of our backyard with a bike in it. Like, it's not like we did anything fantastic. Um, so it don't get caught up like you were saying. It is a niche product, but
Mhm.
if you're passionate about your product, so let's say Nerf guns. I know the webinar we had last time we talked about Nerf. Let's say you have Nerf. There's a community of people who loves Nerf on Pinterest.
Yeah.
You just have to niche it down. You don't have to post every single thing on your eBay page. Just post the pictures of your Nerf guns. Or, let's say you sell vintage Hawaiian t-shirts. Just post those pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you're gonna get traffic on all your stuff, but just post those. Like, you can't
Yeah.
lose.
And the cool thing is if you're really passionate about it, you're not going to be just like, oh, okay, well, I need to post this listing and this listing and this. It might be I'm going to post this listing and then oh gosh, I just read on this forum that they just had these new types of Hawaiian shirts. I'm going to post pictures of those. I'm not going to get
Totally.
anything out of it other than community building and showing my passion around Hawaiian t-shirts,
Yeah.
things like that. Um, but but at the same time, you're kind of priming the pump for a large audience who's going to want to buy something that you have, which is totally shown from your stats that you ad, which I would have never. I would have never guessed to put them on Pinterest. Honestly,
Yeah.
um I don't think anyone's ever even mentioned that at all anywhere. Um, and
Yeah.
now with Pinterest ads, those just came out. I don't know even how those would work. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like our numbers, we were a little over 1,000 in views, and jumped to 3,500 or 3,053. Like
Mhm,
we jumped from 1,000 to 3,000 in a week.
mhm.
And then our total watching is 48 people are watching our items. And to kind of give, again, to give perspective, we only have 6 listings.
Mhm.
That's it. 6 listings. That's it. And all those numbers are based on 6 listings. So it doesn't have to be a mess. You don't have to just throw everything up there. And if you have a little bit, like for those of you who are starting, this is perfect for your business if you're starting an eBay account, because you can optimize one specific product. You know, I talked about on I'd suggest going back and listening to our webinar, our last webinar, because you know, I talked about having passion about 3 products, finding products that sell really well on eBay, and getting passionate about those 3 products, and finding what you're passionate about, and then selling it.
Yeah.
Because I'm passionate, because I can pull on the passion of my dad building these bikes, I'm able to optimize that on Pinterest because I'm posting other people's blogs, or you know, I'm not getting anything out of, but I'm posting good content, and that good content is driving people to my Pinterest page and
Yep.
ultimately driving them to sales, which is it's you know, we got a sale 2 nights ago, and it's on a vintage, it's a Raleigh, like 1950s British bike. I mean, we didn't expect this thing to sell for a few months,
Wow.
and and yet it sells. You know, it sells within a week. So you guys, please, 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 like, there's a huge opportunity to do it here, and we're gonna do a training here hopefully in the next couple of weeks on how to Pinterest. I'll give you guys, you know, the top 4 tips today, but we're gonna do way in depth. So be watching for that because it's gonna be really good. And I'm studying, you guys. I'm learning so you don't have to.
Super cool. That's cool. So, because even Rob said, sounds like an ebook waiting to be written. So that's what I thought too. I'm like, dude, you need to do a course on this at some point in time, and that will come eventually. You're just to let you know, Josh is like methodical, so he's like, he'll probably have like a dictionary's worth of stuff by the time we do anything with it. But uh, you know, some actually really good questions that came up. One, does this translate to Amazon? And then two, um, what are the costs involved? Like for you, it was just posting, right?
Yeah,
Really,
but the cost was my time. Um,
how
I
much time?
I
How much time?
how much time? It depends. Like really, it genuinely depends on how much time you want to pour into it and how in depth you want to go. First time around when we posted pictures up, it probably maybe took me 30 minutes. Now again, I had 6 listings, so at that point we had 7. So it's not like it took me too long, and it's super easy. So I mean, at most you're gonna spend an hour on it. Uh, you know, if you're just posting listings. Now, if you want to dive into it and create a community, you're looking probably, I've probably spent about 6 hours in the last 7 days. So an hour a day just communicating with people. If people have questions, you know, just continuing to grow that community, posting pictures, liking other people's pictures, and following people. I've created that. For Amazon, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not a huge Amazon person. That I definitely will look into because it's something I'm super interested in. In the next few weeks, we're gonna start pushing into Amazon to see if we can sell our bikes on Amazon, just to test it for you guys. So yeah, whoever had that question, please be watching. Please be looking out because I want to get back on that because I'm passionate about it and I want to see if I can make you guys money.
That's cool. That's totally cool. I love that because, yeah, I would imagine it would be able to work on Amazon. I don't see why not.
Totally.
The yeah, that is crazy, man. I don't know how you even. I mean, actually, thank your fiance for that. That was
Seriously.
but that was a nice little test to be able to even go about doing that. Like,
Yeah.
so so you do between 10 and 20 pins for your niche? How's that? Should you do more? How, like, what's the gauge of how much time you actually spend on it? Like, what do you think?
Um, yeah, so to start, if you're starting a Pinterest page, you need to have about 10 or 20 pictures. So go on first, start an account. And then second, follow people in your niche. So it gives you the option when you start your account to follow people, in health or fitness. If your niche, let's go back to Nerf. If your niche is Nerf, type in Nerf and see if there's people who already have accounts started based on Nerf. Follow them. And then start posting pictures that they've already posted. Because it's going to get people who already have liked that picture or who potentially could go to that picture. They're going to want to follow you too. So yeah, I'd say before you start following 1,000 people, um, like about 10 to 20 pictures. And what I do is I like about 10 to 20 pictures a day, which seems in excess. But what I'm trying to build as I'm starting, I'm trying to build a community around vintage bicycles.
Mm.
In this case, again, I'll use Nerf. I want to build a community around Nerf. And so I'm going to post pictures and contents and how-tos and how to fix or how to alter or adjust, just different pins that people have done. I'm going to post that onto my page. And then I'm going to start following people, following people who are interested in that genre or that niche. And that's where we've gotten our most follows. We started doing it 3 days ago, and I think we're up to like 12 people following us, and we're following 300.
Wow.
So, our numbers will increase as it continues to go. But I'm just excited about it. Like, this is crazy. A week and we're already seeing success. That's awesome.
That is so cool, man. I love it. That is so cool. Gosh, man. So the because we're gonna be butting up against time
Yeah.
soon, but what what do you think the biggest roadblock for somebody who's never done kind of social media, who's never really been in? Because look, honestly, when it comes to building a community, when it comes to being passionate about something, you are far more passionate about that stuff than I am. Um,
Yeah.
and so it's harder for me to do that. Like, what are
Mm.
like how would you, for someone who's never done social media, like give some of your tips on, like, give me like you mentioned before, four like tips of where to go, or it doesn't have to be four, but
Totally.
starting.
Um, Jim talks about in the Science Sales Machine talks about outsourcing and talks about using your community around you to help you where you don't know. So for those of you, like I didn't throw my dad in and tell him to post the pictures on Pinterest. He wouldn't have known how to do it. Um, so for those of you who are kind of in the same boat of like I like selling on eBay, but social media scares me a little bit. There's somebody around you, whether it's your neighbor or your cousin or your daughter or son, who is on Pinterest or who is on social media, who would understand how to do that. Um, so that would be my first encouragement is don't be afraid to use the people around you to help you. Um, and don't have the expectation that you're going to need to pay them for it. They may just be stoked that you're letting them start you in a social media page. I know that's, my fiance was just stoked that I'd be on Pinterest. So, it again, I didn't have a ton of experience with Pinterest before I hopped on this. So, um, I think outsource as much as possible. Step two, if you want to learn the process, it is so simple, so incredibly simple. So don't get overwhelmed by looking at it, and don't be overwhelmed by all the buttons and all the things that you're going to have to do. It's actually really simple and super, super easy. And it is as simple as you want it to be. If you want to put in 6 hours a week onto it, you can do it. If you don't want to put any more time in it than just posting your pictures, you're still going to get people following your stuff. So don't overthink it. Just calm down and focus in on your product.
That's
Um, the next thing I would say to that is don't do it if you're not passionate about it. Like if you're not passionate about what you're selling, one of the things I was thinking about is like, what if this is a woman asking the question and she sells men's razors? It's like it would be really hard for her to get passionate about a men's razor. Like, but what you can get passionate about is what that does for the community. And there's going to be a lot more clean faces because of your product. And you can get excited about that and post based on that of like, top statistics of women who like shaved faces. Like, make sure that the stuff that you're posting is based on bringing excitement to what it is. You may not be excited about your physical product, but you can be excited about what it does for your community.
That's crazy, man. I love it. I'm gonna start a Pinterest account right now. I don't. Uh, this is crazy. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell women's razors. There we go.
There you go. Perfect.
Smooth legs for everyone.
There you go. I'm sure you can find something about it.
It's awesome. Cool, man. So we're gonna get into the Q&A for all the live people who are on the live podcast. If you haven't checked out the Silent Sales Machine, you need to. It is awesome. Silent Sales Machine. You can go to theonlineempireacademy.com/silent sales machine. Get that book. Love it. And if you have any questions or comments, well, you Q&A people, you stay. You can ask as many questions as you like. For the next few minutes, and then if you do have a question, if you are actually, you can ask a question in the replay of this video if you signed up for the replay. There's a little section for that, or you can email us at support@onlineempireacademy.zendesk.com. And one thing that you can do is we have a feedback line. It's 714-643-5301. That's 714-643-5301. And yes, your voice, your beautiful, lovely voice, will be on this podcast when we actually do these podcasts. So 714-643-5301. I'll also put it in the show notes on this. Cool. Josh, do you have anything before we go?
I'm going to reiterate what I said in our webinar last week. Is love your product. That's the main thing that's caused me to press so hard into this, is because I love what I do and I love the product that I'm selling. And go out and buy Silent Sales Machine. It really changed things for me. I'm not just pitching this, like this actually shifted something inside of me that actually made me want to go do this. So yeah, be passionate about it and go find material that's going to continue that passion inside of you.
Awesome. And for those who don't know, Josh is basically, what we're going to end up doing with Josh is he's a bloodthirsty, loves to learn new stuff. And he's going to be testing out products. So if you have a product that you think is awesome, please let us know. Josh will spend his own money and try it out and see if it makes money. And if it makes money, he'll share all his experiences with it. So if you have, try to keep it reasonably priced, not $4,000 like some. But he will spend his money and learn, and then dilute it or summarize it and share it with everyone, and so on and so forth. Cool, man. That's it. If you want to be a part of the live podcast, it's theonlineempireacademy.com/live podcast. theonlineempireacademy.com/live podcast. This is the end of this episode. We will catch you in the next Empire. That sucks. The next Online Empire Academy podcast. Yeah, guys, don't make fun of me. Okay, we're done, guys. Good job. All right, so Q&A time. We don't stop for anything.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
So James has some really good questions. Actually, so Rob says, do you need let's start with Rob, and then James has a bunch of questions. Rob says, do you need to have a website or photo storage website to post the pics?
That's a good question. It's super simple to do it from a smartphone. It's a super easy way. So if I've taken a picture on my smartphone, or if my dad has taken a picture, he'll just send it over to me. Dropbox is also a great place to do it. Anywhere that you can store a photo, like a computer or anything, you can access it directly from the website. It gives you an option to do that, as well as iPhone has just if you click on a picture, it has a way to post that from your iPhone. onto Pinterest and input all your information and stuff. So every single one of my pictures actually has a link to our Woody's underscore restorations, which is our eBay account. So it's super cool. Like it enables it to be way easy. So don't stress about like, oh my gosh, I have to upload 7,000 pictures to Pinterest. It's like, no, just whatever pictures you have, or you don't even have to upload any pictures if it's already a listing on eBay, and or I'll look into Amazon.
It's awesome. James says, does so yeah, you already answered the does it translate to other Amazon does it translate to Amazon? And we'll test that out and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually a good one, and I'll comment on it too as well. James said, did you ever figure out how to get emails from eBay?
I haven't, but I'm building a community on Pinterest who's interested in my product. That ultimately I can market my email to them on Pinterest. They can email me directly. It's one of the things we're gonna do a big photo shoot at the like at the end of May, for all of our bikes, and we're gonna be able to kind of push our product a little bit better in the way of pictures and having an email attached to that. But as for eBay, Dean, take it away.
Oh, no, actually, I had heard that this was from the Danny app. Danny is awesome. She's really good at eBay. I think she focuses solely on eBay. Um, but she said that uh, somehow she's able to get the emails from people who buy from her, right? Um, I'm not sure. I've never sold on eBay, so I don't know. But this was at CES, and then she said, "You have by law, you have 30 days to actually communicate with that person via email,
Huh.
um, because you're not spamming them. They've done business with you, so you have 30 days to get them onto your email list." Um, but I might be totally wrong. I'll try and see if there's any if I can find an article from her on that. But I do remember that was one thing because she was saying that you can sell info products on eBay
Hmm.
as long as it's like a physical product, and she was saying that that's one of the things that you can do as well is get their email address. But I'll find out about
Dude,
that.
that's great information. That's good.
Um, should I make an account for each niche?
Great question. I would. I wouldn't if like your niches are pretty close together. So like bikes and bike accessories, or health and fitness and bikes. I think those are okay to keep together. But if you're like, you have on Amazon, you have, a food business. You're selling actual food. Don't mix that in with your bike account or your Nerf gun account. Like if you have a toys account, you can post all your toys. If you have, just try to keep it in general ideas. But yeah, I would. We ended up creating a different one, just for our company. So yeah, keep it easy, but I'd make a separate one. It just makes life a little cleaner. It makes your page a little bit cleaner, and people know what your product is. They're not going to be questioning what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. I was next is uh man, James is tearing it up. Love
Come
it,
on.
love it. Um he says you're gonna test info products or physical products. Do you
It,
remember your like actual crash test dummy for what? Physical products, info products, training.
um, I mean, I want to test anything I can get my hands on. I'm not opposed to anything. If there's, if there's product like it's more information that I've absorbed this far. Just wanting to learn how to do things better. So any product that has to do with online marketing, and doing online marketing better is what I've been diving into, and what I'll continue to dive into. But if there's physical product that's going to make my life on online marketing better, please, by all means, I'll buy it.
Yeah, and test it out and everything. I mean, because the main reason is, and those who have been with us for quite a long time, is that we're not big on infotainment. There are a lot of courses out there. There are a lot of things out there that that look good on paper, I guess, but don't really pan out, or they don't scale, or they don't like really allow you to grow a business in a way that we like. Um, and so this is our way of essentially trying to, one, it helps us to create content,
Yeah.
and two, it actually helps our business, because the more that Josh is able to sell, the more money we make, and the more money he makes. Um, and then also ultimately it helps you guys, because then you don't have to waste. Basically, we're not going to knock any info product down or whatever and say, oh, this is bad, you need to stay away from it. It'll probably be something like, where Josh, and actually this is the way it is pretty much, Josh will try four different products in a certain genre, info products in a certain genre, and say this is the one that was effective, which kind of is the, you can kind of infer that the others didn't quite work that well.
Yeah.
Sound right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. James says, I gotta say I love this format. Cool, man. That's awesome. I'm glad. I was just about to ask it. Do you guys like this format? Do you like being able to ask questions? The cool thing about this too is that it's not always just going to be Josh. It's not always going to be me. It's not always going to be Brett. It will have guests. So, and it might be a Jim Cochran, or it might be a Chris Green, or it might be some other big person that you typically wouldn't have access to, and we have them here with you, being able to ask questions. So, any other questions, guys? You have us here right now. You have Josh here. Any questions about Pinterest? Any questions about eBay? Whatever. If not, we're gonna skedaddle.
Yeah, I have something to just kind of to press on, just to remind you guys of like um, social media is such a huge tool. Jim talks a little bit about in his book. He talks a little about how it's not gonna overdo um,
Email.
emails, and I totally agree. I don't think it is, but it's a great way to receive emails,
Mhm.
and to pull on emails. So don't be afraid to use social media to your best of your ability. Um, our one of our sides of the business is Triple Thread, and they're a clothing company and have nailed it on the social media. They are so good at it, and I've pulled a ton of inspiration even in doing the eBay business of man, I gotta start on that. So don't be afraid to use other avenues in order to get those emails, because I totally agree, emails are a solid source. I don't typically remember a product unless I'm emailed about it.
Yeah.
And then I like H&M will email me and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love H&M. I love that product. Okay, I'll go buy it. It's a great idea, but use the sources out there, the free sources out there, to start pulling people and products in there, because keeping your social media up to date is a big deal, and keeping it relevant is a big deal, and is what drives people to your product.
Yeah, yeah, and it's true. And because even with the academy, Brett has his fan page that he does, and sometimes it feels like, really, we have a Facebook fan page or post. But I can't tell you how many times where we've had people who have found us through that and have asked questions, who become paying customers. Um, it's just another avenue to build a community. Or look at the Online Empire Academy mastermind, which used to be the Entrepreneur Idea Dad's mastermind. Finally, I was able to change it. Yay! Um, but you look at that, and that's 2,000 people on there, and growing, that want to learn about specific things. And when you put out a webinar or a podcast or something like that, you're some people who have gone on this podcast weren't on our email list,
Yeah,
um, but now they are, and that's pretty cool.
yeah,
But it's just that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have that group.
totally. That's so you guys don't be afraid to go out of the box too. Like if you find something that may not exactly be in your niche, but maybe in fitness, like for us, if I find a great thing, a great app that has to do with fitness that can involve biking, I post it up there. Don't be afraid to look out of the box at things that potentially could help other people. It may never make you money, but James, you just said win win win. That's exactly what it is. It's one plus one equals three, and keeping your site updated and keeping your product updated is such a huge part of it, and being passionate about it. You guys, I'm in love with what I do, and I want to pass that passion on to you guys.
Love it. All right, guys. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions. We're gonna skedaddle for this round. Just so you know, if you this isn't the only live podcast. I have my live podcast on Monday where we talk information products. We talk online marketing and so on. Josh is the man with the physical products and training and learning all this stuff. Yeah, he's all modest. Look at that guy. Um, but we're really trying to pump out a lot of this stuff, so you can sign up for either one, um, and we'll just keep pumping out stuff like this. We missed being able to do these spree casts, especially those who have been with us for a long time. We used to do all those spree casts. We missed that a ton, and now that I'm full time entrepreneur, friggin' Josh over here is the man, our eBay guru, who is learning all this other stuff full time. We're just gonna keep on pumping this stuff out. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know. We are going to be doing this for a long time, and share this with other people, man. There's social sharing down there. Share these podcasts with other people, and we just want to build a community that helps each other. So, alrighty, have a great one, guys.
See you guys later.